audience and the IoT team for their excellent organizing, the way of organizing events frequently, where it shows how they involve themselves in teacher development programs. Uh, I congratulate the team IOTA for for the efforts that they have put in to empower faculty. Uh, Today's topic, as it is innovative teaching methodologies. So this teaching methodology, every one of us, we being faculty members, uh, we have our own methodology for our class. Uh, Innovation. So this pandemic, I would say, it has brought in enormous avenues for us to going for more new methodologies that we use in the class. So thanks to pandemic, which has given us a positive, uh, development, what you call. So every, as the saying goes, every evil that happens, we have a pinch of at least something good in it. So something like, so the same way this has paved the way for innovation. So this teaching, when we talk about this teaching methodology, so as we teachers, a classroom is a place where we experiment. It is a place of experimentation for us. I hope you all would agree with me, friends. Yes, yes, friends. We every class that we go, that we meet the students, we differ ourselves with one class. I mean, from one class with the other one. The methodology, the way it differs, it deals only with methodology. The spark that comes with us, it pushes us to go for a different approach. So we come out with our own approach of handling the class. Uh, Here, today's session, I would just like to share with you a few general innovative methodologies. So, before getting into it, I would just like to share my personal view on this term methodology. So, methodology, the term, it is not a confined term, first of all, because it differs from individual to individual, because it highly depends on the student community, the background of the student, because we have a classroom is a combination of student from various background. So an urban student will be there. So a student who has aided from a town life will be there. A village student. I mean, a student who has been from a downtrodden rural place will be there. So everybody, it's a combination we have. So when we have a combination of such students, so we have to get along with our own methodology, which also over the years it becomes a general methodology. So this is how the list of methodology goes. Uh, so let me just share with you a few methodologies which I went through, and I found, uh, of course, many of us would be sharing this, but before I conclude this session to the end, I just want my audience to come out with their innovative methodologies that they have been working on for the past, the post-pandemic period, because the pre-pandemic period was a different scenario
Yes,
for it,
ma'am.
and post-pandemic period is, yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Ma'am, you haven't shared the presentation, ma'am. Will you start?
Yes, 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 ma'am. Yes, yes, yes.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Is the screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am.
Okay. So the innovations with respect to in general, we have I mean, every one of us, we have a thought like innovation is something that is connected with technology, uh, but it is not so. Technology alone doesn't pave way for innovation. So even non-technology also non-technology methodology is also an innovation. So that is what I want to share here. And what is this? Before getting into this, what is this innovation method? So, uh, so it is to put it in a very short form. It is a process of proactively introducing like new strategies and methods in the class. So this is not only, like as told you before, this is not only the one that deals with technology in class, because these days we are more in use of smart classes. I hope you all would agree, my friends, because after this pandemic, because of this online classes and all those, we very frequently it has become a habit for us to use smart classes. So this is not with that alone, or only updation of the latest trends, but it is to put it in a very simple way, it is teaching learning methods. So the whether we are going to use technology or we are not going to use technology is on the other side, but basic principle is it is teaching learning. So what is the outcome? So that is what we are talking about here. So in what way this is going to help us? That is, the students, they have to work more these days, because they because of this globalization, they have to meet their needs better. They have to be highly competent, and they have to prove themselves. They have to be deserving candidate. So in that case, they have to grow in a diversified manner. So when we look at the traditional way of teaching, we of course we all are familiar. So where it was only quantum, so quantum of knowledge that we possess, and how far the knowledge is being transferred to the students. But innovation, the modern teaching is where we talk about what is the takeaway of the students, what is it at the end point, what is it they are going to achieve. If they are going to do this paper in this course of study, particular study, a BSc, BCom, or an engineering, whatever it may be, irrespective of the branch of study, a particular paper, what they study, and what is it they are going to do. After completing this paper, what will they be able to do? I hope this is what OBE also talks about, that is outcome based education. Yes. So, what is the outcome of this paper? After this, what are they going to do? In what way they'll be capable enough of doing? So, this is what the education system it focus on. Then naturally we have to go with innovation in our methodology. So why do we need this innovation? So we need to introduce new strategies. So we need to improve our academic outcomes to the students, and addressing real problems. So all these factors are there. These are the major reasons why we need to go for innovative methodology, teaching methodology. And when we experiment diverse strategies, so automatically the classroom becomes an interactive place. So interactive place like which helps teachers and also the learners, because teachers we promote learning, and this in turn helps the children, I mean helps the students to grow. I mean grow in what way is not the quantum of knowledge, how they are going to apply it in real time. So application oriented. So that is what interactive classroom uh, teaches them, that equips them. And of course, there is a shift from the old way of classroom, and we have been for the past 3 to 4 years, like, we have been going with online classes and all those. So now that again we have come back to offline classes, regular classes, so we could find the difference with the students. And even now, we could find we share. Previously, we don't used to share materials through any WhatsApp or any online platform like a Google Classroom or any such. But now we share. Previously, we used to give photocopies, I mean Xerox copies, or even the textbook. Ask the children to, I mean, ask the students to get it Xeroxed and all. But now, after this pandemic, we just share all those through the WhatsApp group, and students in turn they get it Xeroxed and have a copy. So this is one way of innovation, Mani. This is a methodology. This is an innovative teaching methodology. So like this, like every classroom approach that we do, we have come out with our innovation. So students, like, though we have faced this online classes for the past and 1.5 years or 2 years, but still students, they are not. It is not so easy for them to sit before the screens and watch for hours, because they have come to the offline classes and they want to simply go back to the normal state, which we could observe with the students. And I personally observe with the students. They are not ready to go for any online, excepting Monday examination, because examination has their own, it has its own advantages to the side of the students. So apart from it, they don't want any online. They want to be only physically in the class. So this is a good sign again. So these all actually student, when the student doesn't sit before the screen for hours, they naturally they can, of course they have to seek assistance. That is very important, because technology, growth, development, all those are there, and we have to depend on this. So they have to. So in order to attain all this, so how to create an innovative learning environment? So we keep saying we need innovation, and also how to bring in an offline class in a physical mode. So in that case, practical, more focus should be on practical learning. So not on repetitive learning, like what was done in conventional time. Because now of late, like the UGC has come out with a term by name facilitators. So teachers are mere facilitators. So that is what outcome-based education also states. We are here only to facilitate them. So we create a learning environment. We are expected to create a learning environment, not just simply being repetitive. So in that case, we have to work a lot in creating activity-based learning and the change in the mindset. So first, we have to fix our mind and fix the mindset of the children, students also. So the self-evaluation, it applies to both for teachers and also the learners. And open-ended questions. So those days are gone where we have been using the closed-ended questions. Now it is only open-ended questions. So the examination pattern in many autonomous institutions have gone with open-ended questions. So in that case, we have to get along with the system. So classroom, a place where we create an environment for all the learners to fit. That is, all the learners. We have all what you call different category of children. I mean students. So in that case, slow learners are there. So moderate learners are there. Average, above average. So from this background, village rural background, and all those. So in that case, our learning methodology should be in such a way that fits all the learners. Yes. So we teachers are we are thrusted the responsibility of being a problem finding and problem solving skills in developing these two skills: critical thinking, so problem solving skills, problem finding skills. So everything is needed for the students these days. So in that case, our responsibility becomes more clear. Ma'am, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes,
Ma'am?
ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay. So the next slide that we come across is these I have brought in common uh, teaching methodologies, innovative teaching methodologies. So apart from it, doesn't mean only we need to confine this. Apart from this, we have so many methodologies, but these are all very, very general, which we might have come across. And apart from it, as I told you at the beginning, I want the audience to share your own methodology, if any, that you have implemented in your class, so that that could be shared with everybody, and we can also do it in our classroom, because we are also always in a learning side. Yes. So different methods. So interactive, blended, design thinking, crossover teaching, personalized learning, QR codes learning. So project based learning, inquiry based learning, and Jigsaw. Jigsaw is one of the strategy, and the cloud computing is there, peer teaching, peer feedback. So these are all these that you come across the list. These are all just a few that I would like to list out. Interactive, right from the term we view that this is students are always innovative learners. Yes. So traditionally, like one way lessons, they are gone, and students are exhausted these days. So and after pandemic, it is very challenging for us to manage the students. Hope my all my friends here would agree. Yes, so it is very difficult. Every class is a challenging class for us for bringing the students to the path. I mean, make them sit in the class and listen itself is a task now. So in that case, how can we change our methodology? So we can go in for live quizzes and games. So irrespective of any subject. So I am a literature student. I belong to English department. So people here who got connected, you are from different departments. So every subject, in every subject we can have quizzes. Yes. So we can think about having live quizzes in the class. So which in turn will be interactive. At the same time, we can bring in control over the students, like we can make them involved in what we do. The next is blended learning. So blended, of course, it is a blending of traditional and high tech. High tech in the sense online. This is what we have been doing with the help of technology. So students are more flexible. So they have a very effective environment, and the learning experience actually multiplies, because when they start going with the interaction, and when they go with the technology, naturally sharing takes place amongst themselves. So it improves their learning experiences. So students, now that they have come to offline classes, so even now, as I shared this point before, like even now we depend on the digital tools to make the lessons engaging. So we share it through WhatsApp, we share it through Google Classroom and all these. So we still, though it is offline now, this has become handy for us to share easily. The next is design thinking. So design thinking, like it is a kind of strategy, like where they should be trained to solve problems. Problems doesn't confine, again, it doesn't confine only with the science or mathematics. Even with literature, we can do it, like with the use of grammatical items. So every subject has its own way of approach. So that we need to think about the respective subject teachers. We need to think about like how we can develop methodology in order to bring the students to our way. So collaborative. So in order to kindle their creativity. So these things we need to focus, and that is what I said, like activity based learning facilitators. When these term comes, like our job becomes more. We get more job now. I mean, work to do when compared with the conventional way. So our creativity also, in a way, it is being kindled, I should say. So when you talk about this design thinking, we have 5 stages, right? So every one stage differs from the other, and the only advantage is we don't have any step-by-step guide for this. Like you have a hard and fast rule saying first you have to do this, that, and all. No. So no any, I mean no step-by-step guide. So everything one differs from the other. So it is a non-linear process, and it is purely based on lectures and activities. So designing, so lectures. So what are those 5 stages? So empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So these are the 5 stages. So we faculty can bear these in our mind and design our activities accordingly, right? So we need to make them think. We need to generate something new, the creative ideas. We need to test the solutions of them. We need to evaluate, gather feedback. So all these 5 stages are for us, we faculty. So based on this, we can develop activities and have our own methodologies. Project-based learning. So these days, even when we come to this arts and science colleges, so even the autonomous institutions have come with projects at the undergraduate level. So the final year, the final semester, they have come up with project submission, which is a highly welcoming sign, because we train, right? Because based on the need of the hour, we cannot keep comparing with the past, because now what the students need, once they complete the degree, they should be able to perform this. So in that way, project based learning is good at the undergraduate level. So these what you see on the screen is just few examples. Like you can film a documentary on any social issue, in either in the WhatsApp or on the screen, the smart classroom. So we can plan and organize an activity. Like we can ask the students to analyze a social issue and come out with their ideas. So these can be a general activity, or even subject based on these could also be done. Uh, Updation. So social managing the social media account. So the cause and effect of a social problem. So all these are like can be as a mini project, just a group project where they learn. They get an opportunity to learn. So undergraduate, right from undergraduate level, it is of course good. Next is inquiry based learning. So this is a kind of active. So active learning is like instead of giving a lecture, we start with a question. We start with the problems. So we are ready. We faculty members, we go well prepared to the class. So when we go prepared to the class, instead of starting our lecture, we can have certain set of questions that we can throw on the students and ask them to respond. Then we can, based on those responses, we can share the information that is being given in the text that we teach. So this is one way of making the children learn, making the students get involved in the class. Next to the problem based, when we go for this way of problem based learning, so it doesn't rely much on us. They have their own way of like problem. They develop automatically. What happens is they develop the problem solving skill automatically. So we are here only as a facilitator, not a lecturer. So it is a good way of learning. The next that I would like to share here is Jigsaw. So Jigsaw is nothing but it is a very ordinary game, like that we have, every one of us we might have experienced, and we can give a particular concept to the class. Uh, this is a concept that I have taken with respect to English literature. Whether even it doesn't mean only the English literature, English classes could be done. Even in the other classes, these things could be done. So groups, children, I mean students can be divided into groups, and they need to find a certain, sets of adjectives connected with the word weather. And they can talk about the season and the collocation. I hope this term is familiar for you, collocation. So, can anyone just tell me collocation? What does the term mean? Yes, friends? Yes. So, collocation is actually the natural way of combination of words, right? So, for example, can any one of you give me any words, please? Yes, friends? For example, very simple example, we come across fast food. Yes, fast food is a collocation. So it is a natural combination of words. So fast food, you need to pay attention, we say. So pay attention. So this actually, it is a very commonly coined word. The same way you need to make an effort, we say. So make an effort. Likewise, a powerful engine. So these words, they come out naturally. So these sort of words is what we call collocation. So it can be description of weather or a nice weather relevant to the concept given. Yes, friends. So apart from it, we can give history jigsaw activity and biography jigsaw. Like they can pretend, they can take up any particular character, they can take up any particular personality, and they can improvise. They can read, they can get information about, collect information, relevant information about them, and based on it, they can present their ideas. So this is one way of engaging them. The next is cloud computing. So cloud computing is a very technical term that is used, but when we look into it as a general term, it is a way to connect teachers and the students. So accessing classes and materials, like there, we don't, there is no, it requires no interaction between the learners and the teachers. No, it doesn't require any interaction. So they can do it on their own, and they don't need to depend on any explanation. So, uh, uh, it has got what do you call? It is easy to use for them. It allows them to learn from distance. Like but it is a bit different from the online learning. Let me not confuse online learning with the cloud computing, because of these two actually, um, what is it, this actually students can learn anytime, anywhere. That is what is important. To put it in a very refined way, I should say, like it depends on the databases. So networking software analysis and all those, but flexible resources, what you call, and faster innovation. So these two are the key terms that I would like to say. And they can finish their courses like what we have in SWIAM and PTL these days. So these are all what they use. Either way, they use only cloud computing. So next is flipped classroom. So flipped classroom is nothing but like before classes, before we handle a particular topic, we collect relevant videos, we collect relevant materials regarding it, or any research article, some basic understanding of the topic, and present it to the class. So so that they will have a background knowledge about it, and based on that, we can very easily approach the text that is prescribed. So this is another way of doing. And the next way of doing this flipped classroom, handling flipped classroom is like all the class time, it could be devoted for this so-called what we call homework. That is the work, any work that is done after the class hours is what is called homework. It is not confined alone with that need to be done only at home. The post class session, whatever is done is a homework. So even that could be asked, the students could be asked to do it in the classroom itself. in the form of group discussion or a debate or a student-led activity. So even this would be more beneficial when they are in groups, when they are amongst their own counterparts. And the strategy, it centers around only students. That is, they can help teachers. I mean, in a way, this type of methodology, particular methodology helps teachers, lead teachers, for a better planning, for a personalized learning. So we can analyze the student, evaluate the student's performance personally also. So it helps us. Next is peer teaching. So this is in some way relevant. I mean, similar to Jigsaw technique. So, when we look into it, like the students, they master that the topic or the subject or whatever that is being did there, and they can explain it clearly to their peers, and they can understand, like they themselves can share. It is merely sharing platform. So where we give an opportunity for them to share what they knew about the topic. So this is in a way good, because these days it is we need to highly accept the teachers, because students outperform faculty members, teachers. So because of the what do you call influence of technology, they outperform teachers. So in that case, their way of sharing knowledge it becomes essential. So they can take lead in the activity, they can share their area of interest, and all these kind of autonomy, it helps them to develop the ownership of the subject. That is, like it gives them a sort of confidence that I mean, they have enough inputs on the subject or the topic they are handling. So they gain confidence. So encourage independent study, and in a way it improves their skill in through all means. So it is of course uh, a good sign. Next, peer feedback. So this is actually another methodology where this innovative teaching approach, like a term, it is more or like within the class. So where we apply we have a specific time for feedback. So after a lesson, so with that feedback, we will be able to find out their level of understanding, where they stand, whether they are really able to get what is needed. So all such. So it is also helpful for us. So constructive feedback is there, open mind is there. Like I said, like it is all open-ended questions. So when we give open-ended questions, we welcome all sorts of feedbacks there. So now of late, institutions have come out with all online student feedback system, so which is necessary for NAC accreditation. So that becomes a part even for NIRF. Everywhere we use this student feedback. So in that case, this paves way for it. And a good example that I could share for this type of methodology is, we can use short, simple questions, and we can make the students freely say like what they have in their minds on this topic in sentences. It may be with any subject, I say. Maybe computer science, it can be in maths, it can be physics, it can be biology, whatever it is. We can always make them to share their prior knowledge on the topic. Uh, Next is crossover teaching. Ma'am, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
Okay. Next is crossover teaching. So what is this crossover teaching? So this is something where we go beyond the four walls of the classroom. That is what you call a place outside the classroom. So combination of experience, like they experience the learning both inside the classroom and outside. So it can be even connected with field trips relevant to the topic or any specific theme that they do. So very frequent field trips could be done relevant to that. Not a long trip, but even outside a particular area, like within, instead of being within the classroom, somewhere outside, it is also effective. And this helps them to assign group work, like they can do it after the trip. So these all helps them to do personalized learning. So I feel like this is very, very important that need to be concentrated, because all these so far the methodologies that we have shared, it talks about in common. But what about personalized learning? Because every student differs from the other, right? So we cannot have a uniform system for all, I mean, uniform platform for all. Certain students, they need more activities. Certain students, like they struggle to meet out even the basic activities. So how to meet out this imbalanced set of students? So certain strategies it work for some students and certain it may not be effective. So in that case, group activities are great. Like we talk about this extrovert and introvert, right? So group activities are always great for extrovert set of students, but it is always a nightmare for introverted students. So in that case, we have to be very careful and choosy with the activities. We our that is what I said. Our responsibility, it keeps doubling, tripling these days after this pandemic. So the learning process, like every student, they take more time to plan, prepare, and it helps them to learn. Even these days, the school children are loaded up. Like even I could see it with my own child. Even many of you would have been experiencing it every day. A particular lesson that is being taught some 3 or 4 days before, prior to it, they have been given asked to make a model of it. They have been asked to prepare a chart. They have been asked to prepare a poster on it and bring to the class. So this is being practiced even from the school level these days. So in that case, this could be implemented in the college tertiary level also. So this could be thought of. So the strength and weaknesses to achieve better results. So all these could be focused when we focus personally. That is what is important. So any student that we find that they are not able to compete with the strategy, a common strategy, so we need to naturally come out with a specific strategy for that student or a set of students who are of same category. So each student's learning, it can be different, like to acquire knowledge or equip that student for future life. So everything it differs. So personalized learning is very, very important, becomes very important. Next is technology related. So what we call the QR codes. So QR codes is very common term that we use these days. And this technology related students, they get this the QR codes could be easily developed by students these days. So all so through which they can share even their knowledge, I mean, their knowledge or their opinions, their views with even with parents. So, depending, I mean, the one that they are not able to say it directly, they can use this sort of technique to do it. Now, how can we say, okay, we have been looking about all these methodologies. Now the question arises, how these can help us, that is our, I mean, we teachers, become better at teaching, right? So this is a very big question that is posed before us, like how these help us. So these strategies actually It brings us a better understanding, and teaching methods, it can be improved. So we need to accept that there is a need to grow, develop, and all those. So development is always there. As we teachers, every day is a learning process for us, because we come across with, we handle students of different sectors. So in that case, we learn every day, and we have a very open-minded. We need to be open-minded more to accept many activities of the students post-pandemic. So we require enormous patience, I should say. So we need to identify always a room for improvement. So we need to invest our time in researching student psychology. So thinking of better strategies. So how to bring all these students back to the with certain basics that even we find lacking with students these days. So there are many what we call researching work required from the side of the teachers, and we are highly when we go for something new, so we are taking risk ultimately. So how this is going to be effective, whether they will be able to cooperate, whether we will be able to achieve what we want to. So all these factors are there. So culture is there. So culture based learning is there. So how far they are inspired. So ultimately, what is the top? Top on the list is student-centric approach. That is what it speaks. Everywhere this is being insisted. Have a approach that is student-centric, not a teacher-centric. So in that case, students are the main role players here. So we have to uh, be just by their side, guiding them. That is what I say, facilitators. So for example, we have a class of 45 minutes lecture, right? So do we gain more from class by sitting passively? So that need to be given more thought these days, because students are not ready to sit passively, and they are not there they are there only physically, but mentally they are absent. So all these innovation, the methodology becomes a dire need of the hour. And what will be the future of this innovative teaching? When we talk about this future, uh, always uh, it is only towards development, growing. So as long as we keep innovating, we keep growing. Yes. So the classroom with academic practice. So many educators are being talked about this previously, but still the strategies, they became more commonplace today. So education institutions, they look they look to make up for learning loss, and it is always a time they want the I mean. The classroom should be a place of exciting time for the students, because only then learning takes place in today's scenario. And exciting, what is like many are looking to introduce innovative as a solution, but it is a challenge that students face these days. We teachers also face these challenge, and students also face these challenges. So every methodology, there is a challenge. That is what I would say. There is no methodology without challenges. Every methodology that we adopt, we have challenges, and also the students, both sides. So how does it help in better classroom management? So we engage different kinds of stimuli, and we create an environment of active-based learning. And ultimately, what is it, the goal that we need to achieve? Learning. That's all. So even uh, irrespective of public sectors and the private sectors, everybody focuses towards learning these days, because the content of the classroom is very important, because learning. learning makes content is interesting, important, as it should make learning fun. Yes, that is what is required these days. Otherwise, no learning takes place. Yes, and what about the importance of these teacher teaching techniques with respect to higher education? So there many researches are being done on this, many studies are being done on this, and what the results are proven is the best teaching approach is the mixed method, that is student centered together with teacher centered. So which means teachers involvement is also required in all the activities or all the methodologies that we try to implement. So it is not only the student, though it is student centric, teacher involvement is also required. We are also part of the students. So planning, previous readiness, so these are all secondary, but primary is so both sides. Yes. So to conclude, I would like to share here Plato's uh, quote: "Our need will be the real creator." I repeat, our need will be the real creator. So, which in a very common term that we use, necessity is the mother of invention. So, post pandemic has pushed us to the necessity to invent more and more methodologies in our everyday teaching learning environment. I hope you all would agree with me, my friends. So, with this, I just try to put down my uh, presentation. So now it is up to my friends present here. Uh, if anybody, not anybody, like whomsoever wishes to share your own personal experiences with any new tech, innovative like methodologies that you have adopted and you are able to achieve in the class what you wanted to. So please, can you please share, please? Yes, friends.